Hello again! Witam ponownie. My name is Jurek and this vlog is called Hacking Polish with Spoko Polish, when I'm trying to give you some life hacks which will help you actually master Polish grammar instead of struggling with the textbooks and standard courses. I know it's been a while. Making the first video wasn't so easy for me. It was the first time I was making any video, so I had to learn how to shoot it, how to write a script, and then how to edit the whole video, which took me a really long time. But now there is more videos coming, so please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment on them. This really gives me great feedback and this makes it easier for me to make more videos. Thanks so much for your feedback with the Dative video. It was very encouraging, and I'm so happy I can I could help you guys understand Polish grammar a bit better. Also, Spoko Polish is a school I run in Poland, so please check our website. We also do Skype lessons if you're interested. And yeah, now I was thinking what video should come next, and because one of you suggested Dative could be the case, thanks for that. This video will be about Dative. Welcome. And one thing you need to know is that Dative is not a case we use all the time in Polish. So it's good if before approaching it, before getting to learn it, you have a more or less good command of accusative, genitive and instrumental cases, and of course nominative. But anyway, I'm sure this video will be helpful for you and will get you to start and learn this very exciting case that actually lets you get to these little quirks of Polish when you can use grammar to express your emotions and stuff. So enjoy! So you might wonder, what is dative case? Why do you use it? It's a bit strange. Many European languages don't have it or just have traces of it. And with cases, you often first come across them in some strange setting that you don't really understand why this case is used there. And what I like to do personally is to come from the actual original use of the case, the one that gives it its name. So let's think about the name Dative. Where does it come from? Of course, it comes from Latin, and it comes from the word datio. I'm not sure how it was actually pronounced, but probably something like that, which you might have guessed is directly related to the Polish word dać, to give. And it's connected with giving, and it marks the so-called indirect object of the sentence, or a person or thing we're giving something to. So, I mentioned somehow mysterious sounding word indirect object. So what does it mean? What is an indirect object? Let's look at English sentence structure first to think what an object is. Because remember, cases in Polish are more or less the same, have more or less the same function as word order in English does, telling us what are the relations between the words in the sentence. So we can have simple sentences in English like I drink tea, or Anne uses the laptop, or Adam flipped a pancake, or I see Mark. All these sentences consist of just 3 words, each of them having a very significant, important function in the structure. So you know that it is Adam who flipped the pancake and not the pancake who flipped Adam. from the word order in English. And this word order in English and many other European languages is subject, verb, object. So we have the subjects, I drink tea, Anne uses the laptop, Adam. So they are the subjects. Then we have verbs, drink, uses, flipped, see. So they are actions that are performed by the subject upon the object. So if I drink tea, I do something to the tea. When Anne uses the laptop, she is manipulating the laptop, right? Then when we have the pancake, Adam is doing something to the pancake, flipping it, right? Then later he's going to eat it maybe, or give it to someone, and these are different actions performed on this pancake. So the pancake will be an object of these sentences. And then I see Mark. Okay, I'm not physically manipulating Mark, but I see him, so he's being seen. So an action has been performed over him. And this is the object of the sentence. And this is like a basic, rudimentary way of passing information between people. We say who does what to what. Subject, verb, object. In other languages, this might be flipped around, the word order. And in Polish, it is the verb endings, the noun endings, which are case endings that tell us what is the function of every word. So you could flip them around, and still, if you have the same endings, you're still passing on the same message. But here we have very simple sentences with very simple objects, so-called direct objects. So the verb is an action that is performed upon this object. But then we can have two objects in the sentence. Look at this. I gave Mark the pen. Look, we have I, subject, gave, verb, Mark, object, and the pen, another object. What's the difference between these objects? Well, the pen is the thing that the action is performed upon. I'm giving the pen. And Mark is the recipient of this action. He gets the pen. And here we have the indirect object. So he receives the action. And here is where we use dative in Polish. And just notice that we can say it differently. We can say, I gave the pen to Mark. And we retain the same meaning of the sentence. So dative can often, but not always, be translated as to something or to someone. But if you think about logic of the sentence, of any sentence, there is one thing that needs to be understood, is that sometimes there can be only one object, and it can be the indirect object, because the object can receive the action instead of the action being performed upon it. So think, I helped Mark. I didn't do anything to Mark. I did something for him. I don't know, I boiled water for him, yeah, and this was my help. So actually the water was manipulated and he received it. So the thing here is, I can't say I helped to Mark, or I helped for Mark, but Mark is still the indirect object. Okay, that's it for English. What about Polish? The name of dative in Polish is celownik, which comes from the word cel, meaning aim. So we're talking about actions being aimed for someone or something. So again, if I'm giving Mark a pen, I'm aiming the pen to become Mark, so he's the receiver of the action. Which this name is not that obvious and natural as the Latin one. And actually, celownik also means gunpoint, but we're not gonna hold anyone at gunpoint today. And the way I chose to introduce dative in Polish for you guys is I will do it in plural, because there's a few different endings dative can have in singular, and this ending for plural, there's is a unique ending that you hear only in dative, and it's one ending for all the nouns and one ending for all the adjectives and other words that describe the noun. So this is going to be easy for you. You can have your ears peeled for that, and you can really try to notice it in texts or speech, or you can try to start learning to create and apply dative words in your own speech in plural, and without having to stop and think what ending to put for the singular. So this is going to be to make it easier for you, hopefully. So, what is the ending? You've been waiting for it. Okay, here you go. The ending for nouns in dative, in Polish, in plural, all nouns is om. You can be totally about it. You don't worry about anything, just whenever you want to use dative in plural, add to the end of the word. Voila! So, let's make our first Polish dative sentence. You'll see how easy it is. Let's think about something simple. For example, I gave the girls the pens, or I gave the pens to the girls. So think how to say I gave. Bravo, you got it. Think how to say the pens. Awesome. And now think how to use dative on the word the girls. So we take the word girl, dziewczyna. We take the A away because we don't need it anymore, it's nominative. And then we add to it. Dziewczynom. Awesome, let's piece it together. Dałam or dałem długopisy dziewczynom. Dałem dziewczynom długopisy. Easy. And of course, because every word has its ending now that tells us its function in the sentence, you can even say dziewczynom dałam długopisy. For the girls, I got the pens. You're just underlining something else. The word order doesn't matter. And bang, that's it. You got it. Bravo! One thing to remember is that in Polish, when you're making a plural case, you make it from singular nominative. So you take the word dziewczyna, leave the ending out if it's feminine or neuter, and put in the end, and that's it. You don't do it from plural, because in some words it could make a difference. For example, we have kolega and we have koledzy, so the dative plural is not koledzom, but it's made from the word kolega, kolego. There are of course some exceptions to it because it's Polish, but not too many. Because dative needs a verb that can have a recipient, some words will naturally go with it. Think to give someone something, to help someone with something, to thank someone for something, to say something to someone, or to promise someone something. Because of that logic, you might see in like textbooks or dictionaries that some words require the use of dative case. So you might see them, for example, like pomagać plus dative or plus celownik, or komuś, which is the dative of ktoś, someone, and then you'll see the translation, to help, for example. So, some examples of such sentences in Polish could be mówię kolegom o swoich problemach, o dziękuję sąsiadom za pomoc. Okay, remember that what I told you about some exceptions existing to the thing that we make the dative plural from nominative singular. The three important exceptions in Polish dative are people, children and animals. We say ludziom, dzieciom and zwierzętom. So we don't say człowiekom. So examples of such sentences could be Tomek opowiada ludziom straszne historie. Or pomagam dzieciom zrobić zadanie domowe. What's the ending for dative in adjectives and other words that describe nouns? It is im. And remember, always when we add after k or g or a soft consonant like ni, it's gonna be im, not im. So, for example, robię wszystkim naszym zwierzętom jedzenie. Obiecuję naszym dzieciom, że będą się świetnie bawić. Nasz pracownik sprzedaje bogatym klientom drogie produkty. And if you look at the logic of dative, there are some words that will go with dative even though they're not verbs. But don't worry, it's not something that you have to remember, it's just logic. For example, thanks to someone, something happened. Yeah? So for example, we can have dzięki najnowszym aplikacjom smartfony stają się coraz bardziej użyteczne. There are some words, however, that require dative in Polish and they might seem a little bit strange to you. An example of such a word is wierzyć, to believe. So wierzyć goes with dative in Polish, but in English it just goes with direct object. So for example, I believe my children in Polish would be wierzę swoim dzieciom. And you might be tempted here to use genitive instead of dative when you have a nie, but don't follow that dark alley. That applies only to direct objects, so you can forget about it. No, don't forget about it. But when it comes to dative, ignore it. So for example, you will still say, use dative in a sentence, nie wierzę tym facetom. So, congratulations! You just learned how to use dative case in Polish language. And as you can see, it's not that hard. I tried to show you a few different angles of it. So now feel free to create your own sentences with dative and feel free to place them in comments under this video. I'm very happy to help you out and correct them for you and give you some feedback. Also, just listen carefully, look around, read text, and see where you find this ending. It can be a good help for you to really learn how to practice it. And keep in mind that actually this is a good chance for you to catch Polish people making mistakes, because is so similar to on. Sometimes people mistakenly use on as dative plural ending, which leads to some funny situations, because they're actually saying something else. So you can catch Polish people on making mistakes. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, Spoko Polish is not only a vlog, but also a language school. If you're interested in having private classes on Skype, you'll find our website in the description. And also, if you happen to live in Poland, we are currently teaching in Kraków and Poznań with plans to also spread to our other cities. On top of that, please like, comment this video and subscribe to my channel. This will really help me make more videos for you in the future. There are some new ones coming soon. Some of them might be in Russian, so if you don't speak Russian, just ignore them. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, bye-bye.